Actually, I'm not going to ask the question.
Oh, but
But
I want to know the question. I even asked him,
too
and he won't even
bad.
tell me what the question is.
Yeah.
Baby,
So,
baby,
I mean, no.
just ask the
Okay.
question. The sign was they needed to hear it
So what ended up
louder.
happening, by the way, which is why we cut, is that the battery died on us, so we couldn't hear each other. But I thought that was a sign because it cut off as I was about to ask the question. So it's like a sign from the universe to not ask the question, and I'm gonna take that sign and I'm gonna roll with it. And I'm gonna say, you know
But
what,
he won't even. He
the
won't
world
even.
does not need this question.
But I need the question. So
Yeah.
can you tell me later?
No.
Anyways, I'll get him to tell me. I'll get him to tell me what he.
No, this was a conversation we already had, and I was
Oh, we
gonna,
already had the question. Oh,
yeah,
are you gonna ask them about it?
yeah. But no,
Oh,
it's okay. We don't need that.
well, I mean, your fans love telling you their opinion, so I'm sure they would love to tell you this one. So why don't you just ask them? Why don't you send them a
No,
snap about it, and I'm sure they'll tell you.
listen, I think that
I'll edit
it's
that out.
better for everyone to
Yeah.
just move on. But I
So,
was,
so I want to know. So I told you how I met my ex.
mhm.
So let's go into detail about yours,
Yeah,
because yours is
so,
very interesting.
oh, yes. Well, it's not that interesting, but
I think it's interesting.
so I was actually not talking to my ex at the time. I was talking to somebody else at the time. And my ex reached out asking, be like, hey, like, I think he said, I want to get to know you, or I want to hang out, something along those lines. But I was already talking to somebody else. So, so then, so I was like, nope, I'm already talking to someone. Sorry. And then that person that I was talking to, it didn't work out. And then I was like, you know what? Let me give this guy a shot. He says he wants to get to know me, hang out, whatever. I said, F it, let's do it. And he's like, okay, cool. By the way, I'm in the military, so we can't, like, he dorms within the barracks, and he sent me a location. And this is how crazy. So I remember being scared because he sent me a location in the middle of nowhere,
But you still went because
and
you're
I still
crazy.
went. I was like, wait a minute, like this is kind of fun though.
Oh yeah,
It's
because you like
dangerous. I might
yeah.
die tonight. Let's do
I
it.
mean, he likes those dangerous. He likes that stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, he sent me a location basically in the middle of nowhere, and I went and I followed him off course to the barracks actually. So, but it was this was a very long and winding road, and I was like, oh shoot, like should I just turn back now because I think I'm gonna die. And then I remember getting to the barracks and seeing all the military people, and I was like, okay, as long as there's people around, so there's gonna be witnesses that he's a murderer. But nope, it was fine. Everything worked out, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. We were together for 2 months, and then he got a job offer in a different state, and then long distance didn't work out.
Oh, I'm so sad. Not really. I mean, I'm not sad at
He is
all.
not sad at all.
No, I'm not sad. So, I mean,
I'm not sad at all either because then I wouldn't have met him.
yeah.
Why
That's
are you
true.
making this so awkward?
No, I'm not making it
You're very
awkward.
quiet. What's on your mind?
No, there's nothing on my mind. Like my ex, him and I, like I said, we met on Manhunt. He tried to talk to me. I would not talk to him. I happened to be in Maine at the time, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to meet somebody. So I met him. I was actually dating someone in New York at the time, as well. So, but obviously that didn't work out. So then we started hanging out, and then when I left Maine, he followed me to New York, and then when I was sick of him, I moved to California and left him back there. But we're still really good friends. We talk all the time. We hang out because we dated for a while, a lot longer than 2 months. But we dated for a while, so we were like friends. We got to know each other, friends, and things like that. And then even his family didn't know me as his boyfriend. I was always his friend. So it wasn't until we broke up that he told his mom about me. So yeah, that's it with me. So that's with me and my dating life. But it was rough. I would never do it again. Like I moved here to LA. I was single for 5 years. And then I met Manny, and I was a point where I was gonna give up, but I'm not gonna give up. But it was just like it
Yeah.
was very frustrating.
I mean, I think it is very frustrating because what I do remember from like online dating, you're scrolling through like hundreds of people's faces, and it's like, okay, you have to hit a lot of criterias. You gotta like physically like the person, and then you read their bio, and you have to like their bio too, and then you also have to like interact with this person and click it and click.
But then, like after you find these people, they have to respond back too.
That's true.
So even if you like the person and they like you back, there's no conversation. So it's like, oh, I just whatever. Or you'll speak to them for like a minute, and then they'll say, oh, hey, what? And then you never hear from them again.
Yeah, so it's like it was hard to get like the three. You would always get like one or two. It's like, okay, he's cute. Okay, he likes the same things, but he doesn't respond. Or it's he responds. You guys like the same things, but you don't necessarily find him too attractive. So it was an endless cycle of like doing the same thing over and over again, hoping that you're gonna land on one.
And then I remember like swiping on you. Like I wasn't sure. I
I'll
just
tell
was
us a story. You
no,
were not sure on
I
what
just I just
happened.
wasn't sure because I was like, ugh. Because we all have a type, right? And I'm like, he's not like 100% my type, but then I really don't have a type, but I do kind of thing. And then I was like, well, then I was scrolling through his photos and I was like, okay, he likes to take photos of himself. So do I. He looked really, really good on the beach too, because he had his pictures from his birthday when he went to Cancun.
Yes.
But like he was respectful. He didn't have like a bunch of shirtless
I didn't
photos.
have like a picture of me and my papi underwear,
Exactly.
upside down on the bed, or a picture of what else did he have on yours?
Exactly. And I was like, okay, well, I said, you know what? Let me whatever. Like, and then he likes me too. So I was like, oh, this is great. And then, okay, first hurdle, second hurdle. Let's see if he responds back. And then, did you send me a message?
I don't
I, I,
remember.
I think, yeah, I think you sent me a
So
message, and I was like, no, no, I liked you. And whenever I like someone, I always send a message saying, hey, how you doing? Because
I
I'm
think
like, I want.
that's why I liked you a lot, because a lot of people on there, they're not gonna respond. Nobody likes to send the first message because it makes you look like weak or whatever. I don't do that stuff. At least I didn't do that stuff. I was like, you know what? If I like you, I'm gonna send you a message because I swiped on you for that reason.
And
Because I
that's
want to
right.
talk to you.
And then they have like pre-populated
Oh
messages
yeah.
too. I did not use one of those. I actually
No.
typed it out myself. Because I think I said like, hey, how are you? Or what are you doing? Whatever.
Some basic
And
stuff.
like literally he responded back within like, I think I was at work at the time. And then I got a message back and I was like, oh,
And you know what? When you reached out to me, it was at the point where I was like, you know what? I'm about to give up on this
yeah. And I was too.
online dating.
Like I really was like, and it's weird like how like our stories are weird because I was like so fed up with it, and then like all of a sudden like all these guys, he was one of them that were really talking to me, but he was the only one that actually caught my attention because after speaking to him, I was like, oh, we actually have a lot in common, But then like after like doing the Snapchat thing with him, and he only sent photos, didn't speak. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be the first one. I'm gonna send him a voice message.
And I appreciated that because after he sent me one, I sent one
Yeah,
back.
exactly. And then we started sending videos to each other, like
Nope,
not.
not those videos.
Yes, no, no, not those like regular videos of talking and
Just
stuff.
talking, what we're doing, what
Exactly,
our plans for the day
exactly. So I
was,
was like,
how our
okay.
day went.
So I was like, okay, he's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like the first time I heard you, I don't know how to describe it. It was nothing. It wasn't what I expected. But that's not a bad thing. It wasn't what I expected.
He was
Like
like, the voice doesn't match the face.
exactly, the voice did not match. Like I was like, oh, sounds really sexy. Like I don't know, like no, but you were sexy too. But it was just like it was
You
just
expected
weird.
something else.
I
Yeah.
expected something else, but I didn't know what to expect. But it was just different, and I was pleasantly surprised So I was like, okay. And then we just started talking all the time. And then I remember he would stay up like really late
I remember that too.
to
Cause,
talk to me. And then he used to tell me the story. Oh, I have to go to bed. I'm like, he's a liar.
but now he understands
Yeah, I
because
understand
I
now.
used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go work out. And he's actually very similar. He wakes up at 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning to work out. And I was like, no way. Like, we were very similar in that aspect.
And then
And then,
I remember when I would be at the gym at 3, you would send me a message at
yeah,
4. And I was like, oh, so he actually does get up at 4 in the morning. He's not
yeah,
full of
he's
shit.
not captain.
Yeah, he's actually, because sometimes you meet people and they tell you
And
what
they'll
you,
just like give you like, oh yeah, I do that too, or
yeah,
whatever,
just to get to
be
tell
like,
you
oh,
what you
we
want to
have
hear.
similarities. Yeah,
But he was doing it. He did it like a lot. So I was like, okay, so obviously he gets up. Like obviously he gets up. And then and then I gave him my Instagram, and then he would the first thing he would do is check what I posted on Instagram, my stories. Cause I saw that I was like, oh, okay. Okay, he's interested. I like that. I like that. And the rest honestly is history. So and I tell people this story all the time at work, and they're just like, really? You met him on Tinder? I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, like they can't believe it, but
Well, let us know if you met your partner on Tinder.
or even like Plenty of Fish. I know, like for example, a lot of my friends use Plenty of Fish. They use Hinge as well. A lot of my was on. I remember she was on Tinder. She would be swiping through profiles, and
Oh,
no, but she would like this one because she met this guy and he was crazy. And she was like, "How do I block him?" I'm like, "This is how you do it, girl." I just took him off. She felt bad. I'm like, "Why do you feel bad? He crazy." Like,
I feel bad like blocking people. My cousin once told me, she was like, that's ghosting is kind of like the worst thing that you can do to anyone. And it's like you have to at least give a reason, or even just say, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, instead of just ghosting somebody or blocking somebody.
oh, see, and I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
My thing is like, if I don't want to talk to you, I'm just not going to talk to you. I don't owe you any explanation about why we're not talking. We just don't talk. Like I don't. I feel for me, I just feel like it's a waste of time. Like if I'm not going to talk to you, I'm not. But you, it's different because we're dating. If I'm not going to talk to you, like you
I
already
will
know.
let you know if
Oh
I'm not
yeah,
talking.
and if I'm quiet, there's something wrong, because I keep everything internally until I figure out what I'm going to say. Because sometimes the stuff that comes out of my mouth isn't the best thing, so I try to like think about what I actually say.
Yeah. He
So
censors himself
yeah, I do a
for
little,
me. Oh.
uh, a little, but not for your family members or friends. Stuff just comes
Oh
out.
yeah.
It just comes out of my mouth, and I'm just like,
La 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 la.
la 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 la
F the
la.
world. F
F the world.
everybody.
Like this, I'm just one girl, like that we met today. Super sweet. She weighed herself, and she's like, I really don't eat that much. And I was like, well, the scale says something different, because it's true. And I said it politely, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you called her fat politely, of course.
No, I was like, well, the scale says
Because
something different, because she was interested in losing weight, and if you are denial, if you live in denial, then you will never get anywhere.
yeah, we were consulting her and we weighed her, and the scale read a high number, and he was like, "Oh, you definitely eat a lot, huh?" "Oh no, I really." She was like, "No, I don't really eat too much." He's like, "Well, the
Scale
scale
says something
yeah.
different.
That's not what the scale is saying, but yeah, he's very uncensored. But to me, he's very censored. He's
Yes, I
very
am.
nice and sweet.
I try to be, because you know what? He's very nice and sweet to me, and I appreciate them. I mean, it's not for everybody, and like with everything, you have to be really safe, because there are people out there.
There's crazy people.
I mean, I've met so many catfish on Tinder.
There's a lot of people actually that scare me, and I think that's another reason why um, online dating wasn't working out, because some people would say certain things, or
I was like, what?
I don't know. It's just like the vibe that you get off of like texting
Okay,
somebody.
yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And it's like, oh wait, actually, you might be a killer. You might be a Jeffrey Dahmer. And actually, there was like something on the news saying like people on, I think there was like people on
Grindr.
Grinder that were luring men and like
No, they were.
hitting them, killing them.
I had a friend in Miami who got lured to a hotel. He got the crap
A
beat
mug,
out of
right?
him.
Yeah.
And then he was taken to an ATM. He was made to give money for like 3 days. He was tied up. And it was because he met someone on Grinder. And that's what people do. So all these dating apps, you have to be very, very careful.
Yeah. So I mean, for me personally, before I started meeting people online, I would want to be snapping them like I did you, like those video snaps. And
Yeah.
that's why I gave you my Snapchat. I was like, I want to make sure this guy's not weird because
And then me, I need to see your Instagram because I want to make sure you're real. Because if you are an Instagram person, like especially if you're in your 20s, 30s, you should have an Instagram account.
yeah,
And then so that's how I verify people. And he did Snapchat. Now I
yeah,
get it. It makes sense. And now now that I use the platform more, I think it's fun. Like last night we had so much fun drunk Snapchatting people. It was fun. So if you ever want to see one of our drunk Snapchats,
go follow us on
you can
Snapchat.
follow us on Snapchat because you will get a lot. Trust
Yeah,
me. You'll get a show.
more than what you paid for,
No, exactly.
and it's free, so you pay nothing.
Yes. So just be safe. Because like Manny said, there are crazy people out there. I've met a lot of catfish out there.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of just strange people.
I
And
mean, I almost didn't even meet up with you, to be honest.
why?
Because it
Tell
was
me.
too, you kept rushing things and you kept saying, well, if you want to talk to me, then we should talk in person and this and that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
this feels
because
very rushed. This feels very weird. The fact that you would send me these snaps, I was like, you know what? Like, he seems normal. Like, I am not getting some sort of strange vibe from you.
but
That's
then
why I was
you
like, you
used
know
to
what?
always talk to me all the time, and you even told me like I just can't stop talking to you.
Yeah.
There's something about you. It
Yeah, and
is.
then that's why I was like, you know what? Like that's fine. Like I think I should have a I think in person would be a lot better just because it's like what if we don't click in person?
Exactly,
So
and
it's
that
like
was
I have so much fun, you know, sending you these snaps and messaging you all the time because we were messaging 24/7.
exactly. So my thing was like, listen, if you don't want to meet up, it's fine, and that's all because of the story I just told you. I don't. I think I told you. I'm not sure if I told you the story, but because I'm not gonna be catfished anymore by people, like, or be like just be talked to for months and then never meet up with somebody. It's like, come on, like,
Right.
why are we even talking? If you have no intention to meet up with me, just say so. But I'm not on here to be pen pals.
Yeah. But that's our story. That's what ended up happening.
So
That's through
tell it.
Tinder.
So actually, tell us your dating stories. Like if you are dating, or you know what? Actually, after every podcast, we try to go live on Instagram. So join us on that, and we can actually talk about a little bit of that after our podcast.
Yeah. So until the next one, stay
Stay
street
street smart.
smart.